Good morning. It's day 25 on the Camino. Guess what's on my schedule for today? Walking. Lots of walking. I think it's another 25 kilometer day. Just left Camino Frances. Nice little albergue. Nice little family that owns it, runs it. Had a good dinner last night. Good night's sleep. Probably helped. There were only about 5 of us staying there in a room that holds probably 20. Which would have been a different experience, but it was perfect. Got a good night's sleep. Going to the town of Trabadelo today, and there's some ups and downs. I'm in kind of more a hilly region now that I'm out of the Meseta. In fact, tomorrow's not a lot of altitude gain, but a pretty steep hike up tomorrow to where I'm staying. Weather's looking good. I think it rained overnight, and it's still partly cloudy, but a little more sun today than there was yesterday, so I'm hoping that it doesn't rain on me while I'm out here. Well, while I've got some free time walking all day, give some of you who aren't more familiar with the Camino little kind of update on some things coming up or how kind of getting closer to the end. So I mentioned in my first video, the culmination of the Camino ends in the city of Santiago de Compostela, and the ending point is actually at the cathedral in the city where the remains of St. James are buried. The word Compostela comes from, it's a combination of 2 words. Campo means field and stella means stars. And it's a result of when the remains of St. James were found, a star led a farmer to the field where he was found underneath the stars at night. And so Santiago de Compostela is basically St. James in a field of stars. So that's the ending point, is at the cathedral. And when you walk and you get your stamps along the way, at the end, you can get what's called a Compostela, which is essentially a certificate that you made the pilgrimage to Santiago. Now, there are many pilgrimage routes throughout Europe that all funnel into the ones when you get into Spain that end up in Santiago. So in order to qualify to get your Compostela, you only actually have to walk 100 kilometers. So starting where I did in St. John Pied de Port is well beyond what was required to actually get the Compostela at the end. But as you're moving along in your credentials, you have to get a stamp every single day along the way to prove that you've made the pilgrimage. But the last 100 kilometers, which is the requirement for the Compostela, you actually have to get 2 stamps a day. And so there's a town called Soria that's just, I think it's about 110, 113 kilometers from Santiago. And a lot of people actually start there. So I'm a day or 2 away from Soria, but supposedly it gets a lot busier because a lot of people just funnel into that town as their starting point, so they meet the requirement for the Compostela. If you're riding a bike, just a side note, you have to do 200 kilometers to get the Compostela. But that's a little easier on a bike, I suppose, to get that in. So as you get closer to Santiago, it should get busier as people join the Camino there as opposed to starting where I did. But yeah, just for those that aren't familiar with it, I know a lot of people are, but I know a lot of people aren't as well. There you go.